So today brands, they make money out of people. Advertisers, they make money out of people. But people are just spending money.
Yeah.
So now the power of like zero party data comes in and saying, you know what, you are customers, the whole ecosystem of buying, selling, e-commerce cannot happen without you buying. So what is your benefit there besides buying?
So you give them a cut of the pie.
100%. And that's what we've been working on as a project. It's launched in the market. We can speak about it in a different session. But today what MEmob is doing is asking you, share your data willingly. Tell us who you would be happy sharing it with, or which brands you would prefer based on your interest, on your behavior. And then once we use your data openly over the blockchain, we tell you that we utilized your data and others' data, and that's your cut from what we have got from the advertisement space.
Beautiful.
So if we do $1, you will do with us 10 cents. If we do $2, you will do with us 15 cents, right? And we are giving the opportunity to the people as well, not only by making $1, but as well entering the future of the tokens and blockchain.
Yeah.
So what we have done is, because the data is floating over the blockchain, over Odin protocol, we have an option. Either we reward you with a token, or now recently we're updating the system where we give you $1 or $2 or $3, and then you can utilize in your daily life, or you wait until the tokens and the cryptocurrencies comes in place and they replace the credit card, which is like money that we do not see its numbers, similar to the tokens, it's numbers, but when the adoption happens, you'll be the one who's
which we can already see it's happening.
100%.
A lot of supermarkets, vegetable places, allows you to actually pay via crypto. I think it's just a matter of time.
True. I was in Prague, like I think 2 weeks ago. I was in a vegetable market. It was like very nice vegetable market outside, and I see like a section of that market selling vegetables, and he says, "I accept Bitcoin."
There you go.
And I went to the guy. I was like, "Show me your wallet." He was like, "That's my wallet." I was like, "Wow!" I thought it's like something to attract people, but actually,
he has a wallet. He has a transfer,
and he's selling vegetables. Like what? Where are we going? Right?
Just a matter of time.
It's a matter of time. Only a matter of time.
Going back to MEmob Plus, so you claim to have about 3 billion addresses that you've actually already profiled and you've organized, and you're pretty much allowing brands to access that. So how do you ensure that this massive amount of data translates into actionable and personalized strategies for businesses? Because it is a big number.
Yeah, it's a big number.
What's the continuous actions you guys are taking to actually make sure that they are the right people, you're profiling correctly?
Yeah. So as I mentioned, we deal as MEmob, we deal with first party, second party, and third party data, and zero party data recently. So with this kind of, or this amount of data, it's a huge amount of data globally.
Yeah.
You have on the technical side of the business, there's something called the processing of the data and storage of the data, right? So I might, for example, have the data in US, right, ready, being aggregated all the time. So you have data aggregators with you, functional as different functions all the time, collecting, aggregating, and making it ready for you to utilize at any point. And that comes under a commercial deal, a revenue share deal, you name it. And then the moment I ask for that data, we start getting it into our system, studying if everything is GDPR compliant, passing through all of the CMPs, so the platforms where they allow you to say, I'm a customer, I don't want to be in your data anymore. It checks automatically, everything is automated.
Which you mentioned that MEmob Plus is certified by those
But
entities.
we have the e-seal, e-privacy seal, we are a part of an IAB, what do you call it? Board, and we are on MMA board as well, the Mobile Marketing Associations globally, and the MENA market. So we make sure, all of us, that we are following the right rules and regulations. We are audited by our DPO in Germany. So anything that needs to deal with contracts with a new data supply, a new partner, passes through that DPO. So we are safe at that level, and we are continuously looking into platforms where it helps, refresh that data, maintain that it's 100% secure. And when we are delivering the right things for the brands, because we understand these brands, they have the the international rules, standards, and we cannot break it, and standards. So we are careful about this, and thankfully until today we did not have any kind of an incident. We are so far working in Europe, for example, in UK and Germany, and we're doing fabulous.
Amazing.
With no issues.
And going back to the, because we've talked about the journey in terms of data, location, the technology itself, and moving to the blockchain. So you're moving from Web 2.0 to 3.0. So in your opinion, can you explain what this means and why businesses should really embrace and be paying attention to this whole shift that you keep on hearing, that there's a Web3 coming in, it's actually there, but it's still not massively adopted. But since we're both in the tech industry and digital world, we know that Web3 is actually pretty much happening, whether we like it or not. Yeah. It's right here. It's just how it's going to be massively used. So in your opinion, what does this mean and why business should really kind of embrace it or pay attention to that?
Yeah. So we've been pushing this idea in the market since last 2 years, right? We've been communicating with brands, and we have seen the eagerness to learn, but at some point, this point has been missed from the upper management, or no one wants to take the risk first because they are afraid to fail, which we understand. As brands, as international brands, you don't want to be the first one to get this slap. But as you see internationally, like in US, in Europe, you've heard about
most of the brands have already
Nike, they
created
went
projects.
and they bought Artifact, and they are like a studio for creating NFTs and nice visuals and stuff. Right now they got a little bit of a dump, like they went really down because at some point people like really overvaluated what they have.
I think it's not about Nike, but it's the whole NFT industry overall, because
100%.
I think the entry point started wrong. They believe, and that's why if you ask anybody that's not in the tech world, digital world, what is an NFT? Their immediate reply would be, it's a pictures of apes, pictures of monkeys, and it ends there.
Yes.
And I think we're entering now a whole cleaning phase 100%. Of that. This is not the NFT. This is not the blockchain. That's not what Web3 is all about.
If we want to go that deep in blockchain and what is it, and as an NFT, and why we believe it's going to work for brands, it goes again all back to traceability, transparency, creating communities and engaging with people in a more secured, safe, transparent world, right? And you can see the world moving from AR to AI to VR, right? So it's coming. AI would be the one to drive the metaverse, right? And that's something cool that we would see. For the embracing of this idea of blockchain from brands, what people would need from a brand, right? That transparency and traceability, one, and take care of us. Right? We want to build communities. That's why you see, for example, brands going to Facebook and Instagram, trying to create content there and try to bring as maximum followers as possible, at maximum people as possible. But it's a one-way communication. Regardless how much you want to try, you put a post as, for example, a competition, and then someone comes and likes the page or share it with his friend and put a comment down there. What happens next?
It stops there.
It stops there. But with blockchain, when you start creating communities, when you start creating this kind of engaging world of transparency, right, and being traceable, that's when the people will start getting engaged better with you. Today, you have these rewarding systems, right? Pointing systems. So you have
a loyalty program.
Trillions of them. If I would tell you how many I have here, one. And although I'm already everywhere. But the one was just like my flying kind of rewarding, or like
the
Skywards or like Emirates Skywards or whatever. Because you fly more often, that's what the most beneficial one for me, and I see value. It's a pointing system. What if you create one system that can communicate with 10,000 other systems in a split of a second? All of them communicate the same, and you can shovel in between.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of blockchain. It's a split of second, it's speedy, it's fast, it's cheap, and it's transparent and traceable.
Yeah.
Right? That's what we see the brands communicating with each other, creating communities with each other, and then going to market saying, hey people, I'm an FMCG brand, X is an FMCG brand, Y is an FMCG brand. We have no problem creating one ecosystem of people communicating together. I'll give you a reward, not necessarily from me. So if you buy today Burger King, McDonald's, wherever, they give you points, they give you whatever, you utilize it in Burger King only.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Let them utilize it somewhere else. and do this kind of business ecosystem together to make it work.
Yeah.
That's blockchain. That's what we've been trying to actually be pushing to the market. You see brands opening their ears and minds, and yes, this makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And you don't need to invest a lot.
And I believe this will make sense a lot, mostly to the companies that have a lot of brands under their umbrella.
Exactly.
Whether it's Unilever, P&G, because again, it's just like you're bringing value to
the P&G.
that particular, the whole brands. You know,
100%.
I'm into, okay, I wash with Ariel, I don't wash with Persil. You're more into that area. That give option to all the brands that fall under that mother entity.
Exactly. And it's not about like silos, right? Because P&G is an example. We have the silos of different products.
Yeah.
What if you create me a token or an NFT that will allow me to get a discount across all P&G brands?
100%. Yeah.
I will come and buy only from P&G, right? And I will see value, because when I buy this product from P&G, it gives me access to maybe later on to buy the other product from P&G, which I like. But I need that one as well, right? So this is the kind of opportunities for brands, and that's why they have to, get it, understand it, start slowly, and it doesn't require a lot of investment.
Yeah.
It's you choose a protocol, you create your token, you're done.
100%.
You're up and running. You just update your token system, and you're okay.
And you can even go really far to a point that this loyalty card or NFT can be sold again. So you create a value left, right, and center, whether it's to the user, to the brands, and you're really open about every single transaction.
Tourism. I've flown
a different beast on its own. Yeah.
I've flown to, Budapest one time. Budapest, for example, tourism community or whatever, they created NFTs. And they tell you, what, when you buy that NFT, it's like as if your own card. And when you arrive to the airport, we're going to give you a shuttle for free to your airport. I'm not going to go to Budapest anymore, but I bought it. And because they created a very nice ecosystem behind it, and they keep updating it and giving it more and more and more, I'm not using this one anymore. I did not lose the value for it, so I know when I buy it, I'm not losing it.
Yeah, and it doesn't have an expiry date.
It doesn't have an expiry date, and I can give it to someone else. Yeah. So I put it in a market of NFTs saying, hey guys, this is a Budapest kind of an NFT that allows you to go X and Y and Z from the government. Buy it. And then when you sell it, you have a small return of what you have invested as a return of an investment in that card. That the tourism entity has a royalty there, 5%, 10%, and then that person will have the benefit of having a shuttle which is cheaper than going there. Yeah. And it goes into safety, it goes into integrity and the reliability.
And it's all there.
All of that
in the
there.
blockchain.
So it's a benefit, like it's a plus for everyone.
Yeah, and that's something as well already available not too far. Etihad, they have their 3 tiers of NFTs. Yeah. They launched it about 2 years ago. It dropped obviously the value because of the hype, but it's the benefits from buying this. Let's not call it NFT, so to not scare people away. It's a collectible that comes with a lot of benefits. 100%. It's as if instead of actually buying a physical card,
club card,
it's just if it's an online card in a form of a nice design if needed. Yeah. But we don't care about design. It's more what comes with it, that's where the explosion. For the ones that understand exactly what goes behind the scene is there, you know? It's just that right now, unfortunately, the mindset of the NFTs, which even for us, because we run a digital agency, we stopped saying the word NFTs because it's like a perception of, oh my God, I don't want to enter it. It's a collectible, it's a digital item, it's a loyalty card.
100%.
You know, it's just that when you, as you mentioned even earlier, the most important aspect is the education. Yeah. You know, is brands or people to be open to the fact that it's there, it's all registered, the transparency is there, but just be open to give it a shot. And it's not even a risk; it's a calculated risk, like any investment you would do for a loyalty program.
True, 100%. You know? And even though, like, besides that, between consumers and brands, think about today when you want to go and buy an apartment or do something, right? Yeah. Title deeds and whatever. If that's an NFT, that you receive it in your wallet and it be registered somewhere, this kind of, you know, paperwork and all of that will be gone, and it's secured. It's saved in a ledger that it will never disappear. Yeah. So you know
the whole history of that rent or that purchase.
So that goes back to traceability and transparency. Yeah. It's a key. You know, that's and there is a lot of use cases online about how brands used it for, as I mentioned, supply chain, and how it enhanced their supply chain, and how you can implement an IoT, you know, the Internet of Things, for example. Yeah. I have met with intelligent actually person in one of the events that I attended for digital, and they deal with the agriculture for bananas. So they ship bananas, and when I was talking to them, like one of their main pain is when I have to pay for packaging the bananas and putting it in the container, and upon releasing them in the port when they arrive to their destination. But at the same time, if I do not receive my payment as someone who's shipping the bananas, I cannot keep the bananas too long in the port because they will go rotten. So it's a very painful process. Imagine, and because of what I was studying at that time in MIT school, and I submitted this as a case actually, the solution was simple. Creating a complete blockchain system for supply chain where everything moves with an IoT that gives you your money in the cloud, gives you as well as a
consumer,
as a not consumer, as the company who's taking the product, buying the product.
Okay, more
right?
like a supplier.
The supply, it's not a supplier, no.
Logistics.
So it's a facilitates the logistics, anyways. But so you put the thermometer inside the containers of the bananas, so you are always tracking the temperature and if the fans are functional or not. It gives you the location, where are the bananas, so you can agree.
So it goes back to the location.
100% location technology. You go up to, you put the money on the blockchain, the complete money, but it's not with the provider yet, right? Once the shipment is done and the IoT triggers and the blockchain says that, okay, the protocol is done, I have the certificate, I have the payment for the shipment to go out, the shipment is on the ship, all is good, the ship starts moving, the first bulk of the 25% goes to the bank account.
Because you're already even tracking the ship.
100%.
The allocation that's moving.
When the protocol sees that the ship from a location perspective and the temperature of the bananas and the packaging was great is in the midway, they release another 25. When it reaches the port, another 25. When the documents and everything is set and the bananas are in the trucks already, 25. The last 25. There's no human interaction. No one is doing anything. Everyone is secured. Everyone is trackable. It's all on a click of a button on a screen.
Beautiful.
That's blockchain.
Beautiful.
For supply, for brands.
And that's where your vision is for bringing it to the offerings of MEmob Plus.
100%, and it's there. We have it.
Already.
We have a complete team that sits in Europe and other countries where we are only focused on the blockchain businesses, creating NFTs, creating loyalty programs, and dealing with blockchain products.
Gotcha. Interesting. So again, with your blockchain integration services, how do you envision the future of advertising and marketing, especially in the context of the metaverse?
Yeah.
Because again, the metaverse is another buzzword that I believe the hype kind of
plunged as well.
Similar to the NFT.
Yeah.
Although it's there and it's going to explode again all over again because it's pretty much a digital twin or whatever you actually want to have physically. So in your opinion, how does that work or comes into place when it comes to your vision?
Yeah. Just to simplify it for the audience, like when we're talking about metaverse, they have to think about it as it's a game, but you are looking at the game from the 2D screen perspective. And today you go to different games in Europe, not in UAE much, but in Europe, where you see that brands are taking the ad placements inside these kind of games, right? And at some point, there was a one card games, like I can't remember the name of the game now. It was in UAE, KSA, and around the world, where they used to play cards. And then at some point you have a room that you enter and you have a Starbucks cup on the table beside the character. Product placements. It will be similar to this, but it will go to the next level. Metaverse is happening, but it's not in the way that everyone envisioned, right? Today you have games that you go and you put in as a VR and you start playing, shooting, collecting, building, for kids learning in schools. Now it's in tablets. Later on it's going to be in Oculus, right? Not Oculus, like the 3D
VR
glasses, like VR glasses. And it will be there. So when you go as a brand to advertise in the metaverse, when you access, first of all, from a data privacy, it's 100% secured. Why? If you will connect your metaverse to not an email address or phone number, to a wallet, it's a serial number, right? From that wallet, you enter that metaverse, you have no identity, no name, no age, no gender, no nationality, zero.
Back to the blockchain.
Back to the blockchain level. And that's why data privacy comes in. Everything is on the blockchain, it's floating everywhere. You go in, you select your character, you want to be who you want to be, you start moving, you engage with people, not necessarily, talking to people and playing with people. It's like attending a class, right? I want to go and attend a class. So you enter physically, you sit, and you start learning, seeing things visually. You can rotate it in a 3D way. You can move it left, you can move it right. You start as for example, a surgeon. They will put you a 3D body, looks realistic as no tomorrow. You cannot even tell the difference. And you start, cutting, playing with things. Like you start stitching. That gives you a real experience in the metaverse as a person. Now, as an advertising, if I'm a hospital that I'm giving you this opportunity to come and start doing that, brands can come to the hospital from a brand that would make sense for a hospital, saying, you know what, I have this medicine to push there, or medicine is not okay. Outfits, for example, for these people, this kind of a product, this kind of product, and we start doing product placements. And at that time, if I am someone attending that class, I can go, it's interesting. Click of a button, it opens. Click of a button, I see the product, I push it, I move it around. If I want to try it, I can try it in my metaverse. It looks nice, it doesn't, because it gives you the real photo. Buy. So the experience changes. And that's what happened for the first ordered pizza in Europe for a well-known brand. One guy was moving around in a metaverse. He saw a kiosk, went there, hey, I want to order pizza. He clicked on the pizzas, whatever. He paid with a token.
With his wallet.
And he was just like, playing, and then in half an hour, 45 minutes, he received the order at the doorstep. I was like, what has happened, right? So it would work because people are in so immersive world that they see everything around them moving. People are. It's not the metaverses that now we are seeing that you can go the character play in the world. It's gonna be completely
far
different.
Far beyond that,
and that's why again AI is coming. Now we see with the Quadro and the 6 and times 8 of RAMs and CPUs. Why? They are preparing the industry to go towards such a kind of a world.
Again, it goes